This could be the end of YouTube as we know it. And I'm not trying to exaggerate, I'm not trying to like clickbait or doomsay. If you guys watch me, then you know I'm not one to, uh, sensationalize things like this to make it sound worse than it's likely to be. I tend to try and be very reasonable and, I guess, reserved on topics like this. I try not to jump to conclusions, but in this case, it's really hard for me to see a scenario where this doesn't end up being really, really bad. And when I say this could be the end of YouTube as we know it, I'm not saying that, like, all of YouTube is going to be destroyed by this change in their TOS and their policy, but it is going to be a mix-up that's going to affect a substantial swath of several massive YouTube communities across the board. Some communities will likely be hit harder than others. Some of your favorite channels might be falsely identified as underage and thus not be able to upload. There is a lot that goes into it, and everyone's been asking about it because this is one of the rare cases where a big YouTube change could severely impact the day-to-day use of YouTube for both creator and consumer on the platform. This is an all-around bad change for everybody, no matter how you use YouTube, which is pretty rare. You know, like, the extra ads typically helps creators but gets consumers mad, while, like, demonetization tends to upset creators but doesn't really bother the consumers of content much because it means less ads on the videos. So, like, usually the interests of the creators and the consumers of the content aren't really all that aligned, but in this case, our interests are aligned because nobody wants to have YouTube say, oh, we've determined that you're 15 years old because you like FPS games and that's the kind of content you watch. So now, we've basically marked your account as underage. Like, you don't want that to happen. I would hope that at this point my account's old enough that YouTube's like, there's no way mathematically the user of this account could be underage and they won't care. But it's very possible that they will. But let's see. Let's find out. Let's see what's going on with this, because I brought up a video from a channel called Deep Humor, called What If You Don't Give YouTube Your ID? If you're one of those people that are like, you know what, I'm just gonna not do anything, wait and see what impact this change by YouTube ends up having, and if it ends up being bad, then I'll do something about it, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, then this video is going to do its best to explain what you can expect in that scenario. That did happen to Captain Sparkles. They determined that he was a minor, even though his channel's been around since 2010. Oh my god, dude. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I guess, like, at the absolute youngest, he could be 15 with a channel that old. But I guess YouTube's just not making that distinction. Like, even if you've got an account that's been running since the start of the entire website, they might decide your account is run by a minor, just based off of the watch habits. It gets really wild, this story. If they follow through on this update, it might be the worst literally ever. Pretty much knocking it out of the park, way past what Google Plus integration was. Anyway, let's hop into this video and see what the scoop is all about.
Oh no, on August 13th, YouTube is going to be using AI to determine the age of its users. No, it doesn't matter what you put as your birth date. YouTube doesn't believe you anymore. YouTube is going to be using their own AI systems to determine whether you, yes you watching this video, are 18 or not. They're going to be doing this based on the videos that you search up and the videos that you watch. If they determine you're over 18, cool, no problem, everything gets back to normal for you. But if they determine that you're under 18, like I said, based on what you look up and what you watch, you are going to have certain restrictions on the website. These restrictions
Dude, I'm pretty certain this is going to end up false flagging so many adults. Something that I've noticed is that there is a massive generational gap, notably between Generation X and millennials and younger. Millennials less so, but especially the gap exists between Gen X and Gen Z. And that is still enjoying animated content that's not like raunchy adult animation like, you know, South Park, Family Guy, as an adult. So it is not uncommon, or even for, like, for example, like half of Gen Z, despite being adults, is excited for the new season of Amazing World of Gumball that's coming out. Because it's a nostalgic show from their childhood that's that holds its water over time when it comes to being funny and entertaining. And so Gen Z adults, who are the majority of adults using YouTube probably, are very likely to be watching a lot of content about things like Amazing World of Gumball or like, I don't know, Hazbin Hotel or whatever animated show, maybe Gravity Falls or whatever. And YouTube's going to potentially flag that as the entertainment interests of children and then mark like some 22-year-old as a kid and then lock down what their account can watch unless they put their ID or put forward their ID. And at that point, when YouTube has your ID, they're vulnerable to any breach where your ID just ends up leaking out there. And God forbid if it's attached to your YouTube name. Then it's YouTube that ends up doxing all of its creators themselves. I'm going to get false flagged. I'm 19. Yeah, there's no way YouTube does... Like, there's no way YouTube can tell the difference between a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old's content interests in 2025. There's practically no difference content-wise. Like, they would be watching the same shit on YouTube. So would YouTube opt to be really conservative with who they deem to be likely a child, and just a bunch of underage people would slide through the system, thus making the system entirely pointless? Or are they going to make it really, really liberal in handing out the lockdowns on accounts, and then a bunch of adults are going to get their account locked down? I'm 30, and the overwhelming majority of stuff I watch is either political or Minecraft related. That's the big thing, right? Like, what is the AI going to think when I regularly watch, like, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, Midas Touch, Philip DeFranco, but then also occasionally, like, rewatch some old Minecraft Let's Plays from 10 years ago? You know, from my childhood, when I feel nostalgic, right? Like, what is YouTube going to make of that when they see the list? Time to start watching softcore porn. Time to start looking up nude yoga and just letting the entire results list play.
Include no personalized ads, having digital well-being tools on by default on your account, things that tell you to take a break after watching YouTube for a while, giving you a reminder like, hey, you know, watch out for your privacy when you...
Guess what, guys? You know how everybody falls asleep listening to YouTube? And like, if something happens, like your power goes out or the internet goes out, you literally wake up because of the silence waking you from your sleep. Now YouTube is making that a default setting where if you leave a video playing or a playlist playing for too long, even if you loop it, then it'll say, take a break. You've been watching YouTube for too long. Or here's a bedtime reminder. You're up pretty late. And it'll stop letting you play videos because it's determined that you're a child. Doesn't Netflix do that? It does, but now YouTube might be doing it, which is fucking horrible. Because I really, really like having something that plays all night while I'm sleeping. Because I'll literally wake up to the silence. Like, the silence will wake me up. I've got tinnitus, and I gotta have something to listen to. So the idea that YouTube might be implementing this setting, oh my god, it fucking sucks. Like, the idea of just letting YouTube videos play while you're sleeping it's so mutually beneficial for YouTube. Maybe it's pressure advertisers are putting down, like, we don't want ads running while people are sleeping because they're not watching them, so it's a waste of money, but YouTubers are still making money off of ads that people are watching while they sleep or that are playing while people sleep. So we want to make it so that YouTube has systems to keep people from falling asleep for too long and letting too many ads play without them actively looking. I think that's what YouTube might be going for, to appease advertisers. I guess, JD Creeper, but that seems like a massive pain in the ass just to go to bed.
Upload a video or comment somewhere, and this one is a little bit vague, minimizing recommendations of videos with content that could be problematic if viewed in repetition. Not sure how they're going to determine
That's bizarre. Minimizing recommendations of videos with content that could be problematic if viewed in repetition. You understand what this means, right? YouTube is admitting here that in their new update, they will be minimizing the recommendations on, meaning deboosting channels in the algorithm who they deem put out videos that could be problematic if viewed in repetition. So, what if YouTube decides that progressive left-wing political content is quote-unquote problematic if viewed in repetition? And all of a sudden, all the progressive lefty content creators on all of YouTube just get like a third of the engagement, or not engagement, a third of the recommendations in people's algorithm. Like, who is YouTube to say what content could be problematic if viewed in repetition, and thus reduce your videos from getting recommended to people who would otherwise like it because you're worried they're watching your content too much? This is YouTube admitting, we might deboost your channel if people watch your content too much and we don't like what you're doing. It's so bizarre.
That, but all right. So if you are 18 or older and YouTube determines you a child, the only way you can prove it to YouTube is by giving them an ID, a credit card, or a selfie. But what if you don't want to give YouTube your ID? What if you don't want YouTube to have that type of information?
Now, I'm gonna guess YouTube is sophisticated enough, right, that me having AdSense set up and regularly getting paid through direct deposit to a bank account, like, that should be enough for YouTube to be, or for YouTube and Google to be like, yeah, this is an adult, right? Granted, 16-year-olds can have bank accounts. I know because I had one, and they can have direct deposit too. But like, it's been like 6 years of them direct depositing to my bank account here. So I feel like YouTube should be able to figure out, like, this guy's probably an adult. This guy's probably legit. I think I might have actually sent in my ID already to get verified. Or maybe I haven't done that yet. I think I've been meaning to send my ID anyway for the sake of getting verified and getting the check mark on YouTube. So to be fair, I plan to send my ID anyway. But the fact they might require it of even the users is insane.
And you just don't want to give them your ID and see what happens from there. Well, like I said, they said that a few things will be limited on your account, but I did a little bit of digging and there's actually going to be a lot more limited on your account than just these things. Take a trip with me over to your YouTube studio. You access it by clicking on your icon on the top right and clicking this button called YouTube Studio. From there, you're gonna see this cog on the left that says settings. You're gonna go over to your settings, you're gonna click channel right over here, and you're gonna go to feature eligibility. On feature eligibility, it shows you what types of features that your channel currently has, whether it's standard, intermediate, or advanced. Not only does it show you what features are enabled in your channel, but it also shows you how
like, I also pay for premium, so they have my credit card info or my debit card info, so you'd think, like, they know, right? I'm an adult.
can get those features enabled. What requirements do you need to have this feature? So for example, standard features, adding collaborators to playlists, add new videos to playlists, playlist creation, video uploads. So basically the standard stuff you need to essentially use YouTube. The only thing you need to do, or I guess not do, is have a community guideline strike. As long as you don't have a single guideline strike, you have access to all of these things. Intermediate features, things like uploading a video over 15 minutes, custom thumbnails, and live streaming. That one you need two requirements. One, standard features enabled, so basically don't have any community guideline strikes. And two, verify a phone number. That is just so they can reduce spam on the website. So to verify a channel, you'll be asked to enter a phone number, then they send a verification code. So basically two-factor authentication. And this is the one that we're gonna be talking about in this video, advanced features. So these are gonna be the things that could be possibly limited if YouTube marks you as a kid based on your...
And this, mind you, advanced features is what you absolutely, positively need to have access to do YouTube full-time. Like if you're a full-time YouTuber, and you lose access to this or this part of the feature list, you've basically lost your YouTube career. Like, YouTube's got you in a stranglehold. You either just, like, quit doing YouTube or you hand them your ID to verify your age. There's no out. Like, this is as severe of a restriction on your account and your ability to do YouTube content as you could possibly have.
or search history and videos that you watch. Advanced features. So as you can see, a much bigger list than was presented on YouTube's official blog and other websites covering this. On YouTube's official blog, it was saying these are going to be the things that are going to be happening to your channel if they determine you to be under 18. But from what it looks like, you also lose access to these things as well. So appealing content ID claims. What exactly does that mean? Well, if you go over to the copyright section of your YouTube studio, that is basically going to show you things that could be a content ID claim or that you could claim based on how much of your video is in somebody else's video. So basically, if I don't fulfill these requirements, I cannot appeal a content ID claim. So if somebody says, hey, your content is in my video, I'm going to take all your ad revenue, I would not be able to appeal it unless I have one of these things verified. So for example, you need your intermediate features enabled, and you need one of these. So either video verification, valid ID, or channel history. So what establishes channel history? Things like watching videos, uploading videos, things like that. But remember, they're doing an overhaul of the system now, and now they're gonna be using AI to reevaluate everybody's channel history. So let's say my channel history fails. So now I either have to do a video verification, which is simply look at my phone's camera and follow the prompts, look up and down, get quick access to advanced features. After 2 months of channel activity or following our community guidelines, you'll establish channel history and we will automatically delete your video. I mean, I sure hope so, but you know, you can never trust the internet nowadays.
Dude, they want you to upload a YouTube video of you looking into your phone's camera up and down, left and right, and then after a couple months, they'll evaluate again, and then they'll automatically delete the video you uploaded. That, mind you, I think you have to make public if you don't do the ID verification. That's crazy. Dude, how long do they take to verify your ID? Like, if that shit takes like a week, that is some bullshit.
Or the most likely option that everyone is going to have to do is to take a photo of your valid ID, passport, driver's license, something like that. And they say, hey, after 2 months, if you have enough channel history, we'll just delete your ID. Again, we just have to take their word for it. We don't.
Brother. So this is going to be, is this going to be a regular like 2-month interval thing? Is it possible that like every 2 months the AI is going to trip out and decide you're a minor again and be like, we need your ID again? What the fuck, dude? Trust us. We'll delete your ID.
Oh, no, for sure. But anyways, back to the list. External links in video descriptions. So we wouldn't be able to use external links in video descriptions if we didn't have our ID or channel history. Wow. We also wouldn't be able to embed live streams. So no more live stream embedding. We also wouldn't be able to create daily live streams without advanced features. Like I said, if they...
As you can imagine, losing access to these features is cataclysmic for any YouTuber.
They determine that your channel history is invalid based on your search history and what you watch, and you refuse to provide your ID, yeah, no more daily live streams. No more daily shorts either. You cannot make shorts daily because they're going to determine, hey, you're a kid, you shouldn't be doing this. You even lose your ability to test and compare different thumbnails. So this is a feature that is super helpful to creators because it allows us to test and compare different thumbnails. So for example, with this video that I made about the end of an era of PewDiePie, I could basically test different thumbnails, which I did over here. It allows me to show one thumbnail to a certain group of people and another thumbnail to another group of people. Based on which one got watch time, I can determine which one I prefer, and I can set that as my permanent thumbnail. But not if I don't show YouTube my ID. If I don't show YouTube my ID, then I lose my ability to do that. You also lose your ability to upload more videos daily. So I assume, I don't know what more videos are, maybe like 2 or 3 videos a day. If you don't have valid channel history or don't show them your ID, yeah, you can't do that anymore. And lastly, eligible to apply for monetization. That is correct. My new and aspiring YouTubers who want to do YouTube to make money or make it their permanent living. Obviously, first of all, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but regardless, if you do not have valid channel history based on YouTube's new AI reevaluation, and you don't have a valid ID that you give them, yeah, you can't make money off YouTube anymore. So yeah. And again, this is all speculation.
This could legitimately be the most cataclysmic update in YouTube history. Now I have a theory. A theory I hope that I am dreadfully, dreadfully wrong on, and I'm proven completely incorrect about as time goes by. But I'm scared that I'm right. Here's my theory. I believe that YouTube is trying to become another streaming service. That's not the hot take. I think most people have recognized this fact with YouTube Premium, getting rid of all the ads and being the preferred way to watch YouTube, all the movies that you get for free with YouTube Premium and shows as part of YouTube, and like all the extra benefits you get with it. It really feels like YouTube is trying to make it unusable if you don't have premium, and get as many people to get premium as possible, even if it means they lose 75% of their user base. If a quarter of that base sticks around and gets premium, it seems like it's worth it for them. I think a quarter of YouTube's base sticking around with premium is more valuable than 100% of them sticking around without it right now. And I think that's their goal, is to massively downsize the site in every way, from how many creators are uploading, how often and frequently those creators upload. I think their idea is to kind of narrow content down around creators that upload less frequently, but their videos get a lot of views, and just to have a smaller catalog of creators that are on the platform in general, kind of cut down a lot of like the random shit that gets uploaded by just random people. And I think their plan might be to make YouTube feel more official. A site that, like, realistically you can use for free with heavy ads, so you probably just going to pay for it if you like YouTube. And then when you go there, it's going to be what YouTube believes is a highly trimmed down, no fat, all lean meat YouTube content experience. I think their goal is to basically eliminate slop. And I kind of like the idea of that, but there's a lot of really great YouTube content that is not slop, but it can look like slop if you don't know what it's about. So their plan is to literally ruin YouTube. I think their plan is to make YouTube something we would all hate, something very different from what we all grew up with and have grown to know and love, but what could be likely extremely profitable for Google in the long run. YouTube's been a big money sink for a long time. I think YouTube's trying to flip a profit now. And it's very possible their way of doing so is to cut down on the user base, but to monetize the whales that stick around. And to do the same thing to the creator base, to cut down a lot on the amount of not super promising creators out there, such as myself, and keep it as like the Kai Cenats and the Dreams of YouTube, like the really high performing content, like you go onto YouTube and it's like Mr. Beast all over the front page when you pay for it, and it's like Netflix but a little more open. I think that's what YouTube's trying to do. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like that's their plan.
Just based on what is in YouTube settings, but it seems like you would be losing a lot more features than what is just stated in YouTube's official blog. It wouldn't just be them giving you nice little privacy reminders like, hey, just go ahead and be careful when you upload a video, or them saying, hey, you should probably take a break off YouTube, you've been watching for too many hours. It's also like you can't appeal content ID claims or external links in video descriptions or embed live streams.
That's so insane. Take a break from YouTube, you've been watching for a few too many hours. Like, how many, literally my go-to thing when I'm taking a walk is put in my earbuds and listen to YouTube. My go-to thing when cleaning or doing any kind of chores, put in my earbuds and listen to YouTube. Like my number one thing when I'm exercising or working out, what do? Put in my earbuds and listen to YouTube. The idea that YouTube thinks that or would put into place a rule, there's got to be some group putting pressure on YouTube, right? Like if it's not their plan to make YouTube worse so they can squeeze funds out of the whales and cut down on bandwidth. For those who don't know why YouTube would want to cut down on all of the fat, by the way, it costs Google a shitload of money to host videos. Streaming and hosting videos takes a lot of bandwidth from YouTube's end, from Google's end, and it costs them money. And they have to host all this video content. So cutting away all of the nonsense and getting it to just be content on YouTube, not people's passion projects or their family get together video they posted on their personal channel. They want to cut all that stuff away, delete all that stuff off of the platform, and make YouTube a content factory. Not necessarily a slop content factory, but a content factory. It's the British, Zan. The new dumbass law is causing this. You really think it could be that? There would be huge losses from cutting down engagement. YouTube is already suffering, or Google is already suffering huge losses from YouTube. What I'm talking about here is where YouTube loses their money is the amount of people that watch YouTube. Like, there's no point now where they can get more people on the platform and it ends up making them a profit. It can't happen. Like, every user on the platform would need to buy YouTube Premium for it to be like a profit. Or they can push away 75% of the user base, reduce the bandwidth usage 75%, cut away 75% of the YouTube videos uploaded to the platform taking up room on their servers. And then from there, the 25% of people that are left that stick around wail out. They squeeze every dime and penny they can out of them through YouTube Premium subscriptions, YouTube Music subscriptions, YouTube Gaming subscriptions. I'm sure they plan to branch out into everything. But I think what Google wants is to reduce their user base, but to make that remaining user base several magnitudes more profitable. Just a theory. I hope I'm wrong.
Or upload more videos daily or be eligible for monetization. So yeah, essentially, if you're an aspiring YouTube creator and you don't want to give YouTube your ID after they determine that you're falsely under 18, without being all doom and gloom, you're pretty much screwed, because you need those advanced features to really be able to do well on YouTube, and most importantly, be able to make money off YouTube. So yeah, that's what's going to happen if you don't give YouTube your ID and you want to be a YouTuber. Now remember, your channel won't get banned or anything like that, like how it'll happen on Spotify, but still, it's still going to be pretty detrimental to your YouTube channel, especially if you are an actual YouTube creator. As I've done in my last 2 videos, I urge you guys again, please do not stop talking about this. I will not stop talking about this. This is a big fucking deal. YouTube should not be...
Yeah. This channel's been talking a lot about what this change has been doing, including the YouTube ID check system hiding videos. So it's like, is your YouTube channel getting deboosted in the algorithm because YouTube's decided that your content is inappropriate for kids or too appropriate for kids? Who knows? I remember when that rule where you would have to mark your content as for children or not appropriate for children came out, and it was like, so if I mark my content as appropriate for children, I can't get ads? And if I mark it as not appropriate for children, I'm implying my content isn't ad-friendly. Yeah, the COPPA Act, yeah. So it felt like you were in such a rock and a hard place. If you marked your content as, like, clean and not, like, inappropriate, like, implying that, like, yeah, I guess a kid could watch my content, it meant that you were marking your content as for children. That's what that actually meant. And so you couldn't make any ad money off of those videos, period, none, because it was considered children's content. And then if it wasn't appropriate for children, you're thinking, if it's not appropriate for kids, is it appropriate for advertisers? Like, am I just going to get yellow dollar sign by default? Like, is it literally no ad revenue or yellow dollar sign? Is that the choice we have now? Thankfully, it didn't end up being that bad in the end, but for a while, it legitimately was that bad. So, man, I'm scared. I'm scared of this change, and I think a lot of you guys are too. I've seen a lot of people in chat talking about it. A lot of you guys in my Discord telling me I should cover this topic. A lot of people on YouTube have been freaking out. I hope that we can get enough public pressure on the platform to revert this change before it even happens, because nobody wants this. No one is okay with it. But the fact that YouTube hasn't diverted their course already tells me that they've got a financial interest in carrying out this policy, and they don't care how many users they lose in applying it. And that's a scary thing. It means that their agenda right now is not around keeping users to make money. They've got a monetization plan that does not center around keeping the majority of their user base, by the looks of things. And that's why I suggested the theory I did before that I hope is wrong. Anyway, though, folks, that's more or less everything I have to say on the topic. You guys have been asking me a lot to discuss it, so I figured I'd give you all my 2 cents. But if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way, then please consider leaving a like and a comment down below in the description, or not in the description, in the comment section of this video. Every like and every comment is totally free, only takes a second, and actually forces YouTube to boost my stuff in the algorithm and show my content to new people and subscribers alike, and helps to make my channel do well. It really does help a lot. It's how we grow. So thank you to everybody who chooses to hit that like and comment button. I really appreciate it. And of course, you liking lurkers and lurking likers out there, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications if you want to see more from me in the future. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms, be sure to follow my social medias through the link down below in the description, particularly my fan Discord, where you can actually join fan events that I hold every week on Fridays, from watch parties, movie nights, call-in streams, to gaming events. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure to join my Discord. I announce everything there as well, so if you don't want to miss a thing, make sure to join the link down below. And if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xanderhal Studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhal.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xanderhal merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, thank you all so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.